we're back on the show. Talking Sunderland and everything you know. Conrad's got the numbers, proper stats machine. Mike's optimistic, living out the Mackems dream. Bowers keeps it steady, cool and level-headed. Wayne's already moaning, man, I'm shattered, I need my bed. Baby, are you ready to go? Let's get carried away, man, let's steal the show. Midweek Mackems every Wednesday night. Veterans passion in the red and white.
And we are here again, Midweek Mackems. As you can see, it is not Mike who's hosting. He's unavailable to be with us this week, but we will presume that we will be back with us next week while I'll be in London for the Brentford game. So that's going to be a great fun to try and organise. But obviously we've got these two legends, Wayne from Only Fools and SCFC, and of course Conrad from Black Cats TV. As you can see by all of our names, Mike Friesel, quite literally, yes.
Mike Friesel.
Quite literally, Mike Friesel. Well, not quite, Mike Bowers.
Michael's here.
No, yeah, not quite. You haven't got Mike, you've got Michael instead. But obviously, this is the first time we've spoke on air since before Christmas. So I'll ask you both, as we head into New Year, how were both of your Christmases?
Very good. Very, very good. Nice and quiet. Family time, you know how it is. But obviously still with one eye on the football, still creating videos, still doing content. So, aye, very good. How's yours been?
Very, very turkey and chocolate filled. Put it that way. Not together though. That doesn't mix very well. No, I wouldn't like the idea of that. Conrad, what about yourself, mate? How's your Christmas been?
Yeah, it was all right. I fell ill on December 25th night until about the 27th, so I'm feeling a lot better now. But yeah, those few days were not fun, not the best. But it was fun before then, you know. And then but the benefit was all the food I consumed didn't stay on the hips because it all came back out again. So it was what a magical Christmas that was.
I was going to say that sounds an absolute glorious way to spend Christmas and Boxing Day in particular.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, actually, to be fair, it was amazing that you actually got to the Leeds game based on that. Then
I wasn't missing it. I was a bit like, no. I was like dragging myself around for that one, regardless of where I was. But that's why in the video you've seen of us all like just before they were singing Wiseman, I was like this, sort of like
going.
Yeah, I wasn't moving too much. I was like, no, stand still.
Just to make sure you move your stomach as little as possible. I remember I was ill once a couple of years ago, right before Christmas. I think it was the December 2023. So maybe I was sick because of Michael Beale's appointment. I don't know, but it was just after. It was the day we got battered against Coventry, which was 2 days before Christmas. Was very, very ill that night. Had to skip work Christmas Eve, which I didn't. Which in the end I got sick pay, so I wasn't complaining about that. But thankfully I was all right for Christmas. I was able to enjoy Christmas dinner enough. But there you go. That is the tradition. So let's start with it. Let's start with the Leeds game in particular. So I don't know if Conrad obviously asked in the group chat that for one of us to confirm if Sky Sports had recorded him and his mother singing "And Wise Men Say," and it turns out they had done because I had a look before coming on. So I don't know whether Conrad's wanting to share how grumpy he looks or whatever.
I haven't got it uploaded yet, but I will on the next one. But seeing as our last video got taken down for copyright, I think I'll just try and get an image on for maybe the next time we do one of these. Yeah. But yeah, it was as they were doing Wiseman Say, the video does, and I looked particularly miserable because I was a bit ill. But I was also, as I've said to you in the group, I think I sent a text right on kickoff saying, is it me or does this game feel really flat? Like the atmosphere just doesn't feel like it's there. And there's something that just doesn't feel right in this game, which as the game then transpired was completely spot on, really. There was just something, completely missing from the game, and it was any sort of, but I thought at first I just put it down to, well, the last game was the derby. I'm probably relating it back to that one, and it's obviously not the same. Probably people are still a bit hungover from the day before. Probably people are a bit, maybe there's a few people who aren't regulars in, could be people got tickets for Boxing Day or whatever, or people are on holiday and swapping around. But yeah, it just transpired. It just felt really flat. I don't know about you. This is before kickoff. It just felt like there wasn't the same atmosphere we've had.
After the Lord Mayor show type of thing, like I say, after that high of the Miles game, I noticed there was quite a few empty seats and all. Talking about the stadium, which I was surprised at, would have been like our
10 in a row. Like you said to me, there's 10 in a row in front of me, just empty.
Aye, mad down it. Maybe I don't know. Maybe being a family who just couldn't get there, but for being our traditional Boxing Day fixture, you normally expect a full house, but there was quite a few empty seats and it was flat. I don't know. Maybe it's just people had too much turkey.
Maybe, or maybe they mixed turkey and
chocolate.
chocolate. Maybe they got mixed turkey and chocolate together, and then they were throwing up all over the place. Who knows? To be fair, I kind of noticed that, and I felt like I did expect it to be a bit of a come down atmosphere-wise from the Newcastle game, but even then, Leeds is still a pretty big fixture, though, isn't it? Like Sunderland Leeds should be a pretty. I've gone off quite a lot of Leeds fans on social media over the summer, I must admit, but even I'm not stupid. Leeds Sunderland should be a Prem fixture, so it's a big enough game. And it's like, obviously, it's not Boxing Day, it's a 28, well, 27, whatever it is, I don't know. But there you go. Thank you very much.
Leeds fan we like.
Sorry?
There's a Leeds fan we like.
Cheers, Danny.
Then, as long as he's one that's not comparing our transfer business constantly, then fair enough. But either way. But yeah, we'll quickly go through some comments. Obviously, Kimberly, it's nice to see her. She likes me content a lot. Happy New Year. Darren Cole, Happy New Year. All the best, lads. Ms. Bell's good to see you the other day. Yes, Carl was a few rows in front of me at the game. I do remember seeing him. Tom says, my favourite midweek entertainment. Hope you all had a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Tough game tomorrow. How are the lads? What are you talking about, tough game? It's only Manchester City.
Piece of piss.
Absolutely, with a depleted squad. Evening, lads, says Sean. All the best of 2026. The year we have European footy at the Salt. Oh, imagine. Sneak a 1-0 win tomorrow and dust your passports off. Mike, if only Mike was on here, he would love that.
It's already sorted.
Conrad meaning to get. I was next. SJ, at least we know we're willing to spend big in January if we're needed. We were in for that Johnson. Yeah, well, me and Conrad had a disagreement. In fact, actually, you two were on one hymn sheet, and I was on another one about Brennan Johnson. Do you want to reveal what that was?
I think me and Conrad for 35 million for me, not worth the money. But I had this discussion last night on bridging the gap with Matty, and Matty's was looking at some of his stats, and apparently his stats and that are unreal. But for me, doesn't do enough for me. He's no better than what we've got already. Adingra, Mundell, I think he's pretty much the same type of level. So I think I'd be rather spending 35 million on a better player or a better quality of player.
Any idea who?
I'd probably go with someone like Harvey Elliott.
We can't get him, unfortunately, because he's already been on loan at Villa from Liverpool, and he's already played for them, so he can't play for the season. Which I think is a stupid rule, by the way, but that's apparently what it is.
I thought of Oscar Bob would have been one that I would have rather gone for. I know he's not as tested, but he fits our profile more. We could probably be cheeky and ask for him on loan because City won't want to really get rid of him, and then we can guarantee him some game time. But the Johnson one's interesting. I was watching a friend of mine do a stream on it the other day, Sava from Football Heritage. I'm name dropping him. And he did a whole stream about it, about how 50-50 Spurs fans are on him. Some Spurs fans absolutely love him. I think he's brilliant, and his goal-scoring record can't be denied, really, that he does contribute. Now, he was contributing under an Ange system of all-out attack, but he says when he's not getting goals, he's doing sweet FA. He is not defensively contributing. He is not tracking back. He's not linking up the play. He's not putting in challenges. He's not pressing. He's not doing this. He's not doing that, which is the bit that I keep seeing when I watch him, that I'm like, well, if you're not doing that, and that's key to how we play at the moment, which is why Adingra's not necessarily been playing, I don't want to spend that money, and I definitely don't want to spend 35 million on that. If it was 10 to 15, like what we got Mukiele, Roofs, Alderete, players like that for, I'd be sitting there going, I think it's worth the risk. I think that's an all right sort of shout, but 35 million just seems a hell of a lot of money for someone that I actually agree with Wayne on, that I think we've got in maybe not an equal comparison, but we've got Traore, who's better defensively. We have got Talby, who's going to be better than him, I'm certain of it, and is getting better each game. We've got Adingra, who we've yet to really see, but a good run of games, scored now. He could have had an assist if Robbie had just headed it fucking down. And Mundell, who's just come back, and we haven't really tested him in the Premier League yet. So I'm a bit like, well, I'm all right with M4. I don't need to spend 35 million on you unless you were going to be like Saka. Do you know what I mean? Something like that.
If only you were going to get back Yoko Saka for £35 million these days.
It'd be unreal.
The point I was of the different, obviously, persuasion that I would actually have him. But a couple of reasons there, I think, just worth pointing out. I think one, if Tottenham fans were 100% in favour of him, would he be getting linked away from Tottenham?
No.
He wouldn't, would he?
Yes,
so I think that 50-50 for me is probably quite decent, I would argue, given the fact that if you're not going to be 100% favoured by the clubs, the fans of the club you're playing for, rather, then you wouldn't be linked to leave in the first place. The second thing I would argue is someone like, say, okay, I know he left in shit circumstances, but look at Alex Pritchard, for instance. Look at everything Huddersfield fans told us about what he was like. On the pitch, attitude was shocking, couldn't care less, didn't do any running around, didn't do any of the work, and okay, we signed him in League One, but we had 18 months of him in the Championship where he didn't look out of place and actually was probably one of our more influential players before he left. So it just, for me, I think it goes down to sometimes the environment at a club can Johnson play up front. I think he's a winger.
He's definitely like a right forward, right winger, isn't he?
Yeah. So I think, from my perspective, I think that it would be worth going for, and especially if this regime wants him, then clearly Reggie's has some say in this. You would like to think. So I can't see him being a lost cause for them if they didn't want it. If they want him, I don't see him being someone they don't think could make a real difference here. Yeah, I mean, if it's true then that if he doesn't do anything else other than score, then it literally could just be an inquiry and we move on and sign and try and go for someone else.
Well, apparently he's gone to Palace for a medical tomorrow, isn't he? Apparently he's looking at being in the squad for their game on Sunday. That's how advanced it is. So
I wonder who they're playing on Sunday.
The what you call it? I was going to say, I've completely lost my trail of thought. The reason we're not signing him, he's not injured.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, he's fit to play, so we won't sign him.
Well, very true. Well, to be fair, the point you made about we'll get into the Leeds game in a minute, guys. I promise. But if we have to talk about it that much, really. But how much we want to. But I think Oscar Bob could be a good shout though, because I think it looks pretty certain Palace and Spurs agreed to waiting for a medical. Fair enough. Has he actually agreed to join them? Brendan Johnson.
I think there's been behind the scenes.
I heard the fee's been agreed, but they haven't. He's waiting to decide where he wants to go.
I think they've had terms.
Bournemouth are in for him now. Bournemouth have inquired, and Everton, I think, as well.
He's probably waiting to see if anyone else comes in this week. That's probably now that it's been announced, the fee, and people know it. And like you say, as soon as they heard one team's done it, 3 other teams have jumped on that bandwagon of, oh, well, actually, especially if Semenyo's leaving Bournemouth are going, well, actually, there's half the money from Semenyo. We spend it on him, and we're still in the green on it. Yeah. You know, we can look at him. I think it's one of those things that we've all gone, and he's looking just to see what options he has. For me, if he was picking those options, and I'm taking my Sunderland hat off, it probably is Palace that you look at because they're in the Europa Conference League at the minute anyway. Everton are a good shout. I would, for him, I wouldn't say. I think he's probably got that attitude of, oh, they're newly promoted. He just and doesn't want to come yet. If this was summer and we'd stayed up, then I think we were in with more of a shout based on where we finished and our recruitment, I think. Just
to answer that, though, we're the highest of the 4 clubs in the table at the minute. Mm-hmm. Okay, granted, probably at the end of the week we probably won't be, right? But right now we are. Okay, it's only by what? Well, we're level on points with Everton, so that kind of debunks that, doesn't it? You get my point, though. We're not in a bad position. It's not like we're really going to get relegated, unless something catastrophic happens and we become like Wolverhampton Wanderers for the rest of the season. That we are not going to go down. You'd like to think. And another way I'd look at it is, I can see your argument about Palace being in the Conference League. However, Glasner looks like he's not signing a contract, and Mark Gay, he's going to leave in the summer by the looks of it. Mm-hmm. So both, and that's if he's not sold in January. So I think they're already going to lose one of their best players and lose their manager in 6 months' time. Would you really want to go somewhere knowing your manager's going to go in 6 months?
I think they'll probably lose Wharton as well, to be fair, because he's another one that's on the radar of top clubs. So
that's the point. Where I could see him going to Bournemouth or something over Palace, if I'm honest. But at the same time, you could say, well, we're 5 points above Bournemouth at the minute. So,
it's this. I don't want to say hierarchy, but there's a word like it where. So, for example, Man United finished 15th, 16th last season, and got 3 transfer targets over several teams that finished way higher than them in the Premier League last season. 3 notably taken off of Newcastle in terms of Sesko. I don't think
Newcastle were in the Champions League as well, by the way. Just
exactly,
yeah.
And Man United still had that pull. Now, if you look at someone like Everton, for an example, who when I in like the early 2000s were like Champions League chasing side and still a massive, probably on paper the biggest club out of the big 6 up there with Villa anyway.
I agree with that.
That's a pull regardless of how they've been playing the last few years and how they're doing right now. Plus, I don't think they have a dedicated right winger, and Dye sort of fits across the front three set. And Dewsbury Hall's just got injured, and Dye's at AFCON. Grealish is only on loan, so it sort of fits that even if he went and sort of bit part played this season and then cemented it next season, that's his option. I don't know why we're talking about Everton anyway. He's coming to Sunderland, and we're going to have to pay stupid money for him.
Yeah,
it's
then
a Sunderland podcast.
You two will be made to look like humble pie, probably.
I don't mind that. I've never mind being wrong on a player. It's just from what I've seen, and this includes when he was at Forest in the Premier League, and what I've seen of him at Spurs. He had that great purple patch last season, but so did Almiron for Newcastle, who scored 8 Premier League games in a row at one time when Jack Grealish said he was dog shit. Like, people have these moments, and now that he's not in a completely gung-ho team, they're a bit more tactically astute. He's being found out that he's not needed, and we need someone who's going to contribut. Just my opinion, though. That's just me.
If I had to make a prediction, I suspect he'll end up at Bournemouth.
Yeah.
That's where I think he'll go, but we'll wait and see. All right, let's talk about the Leeds game, because I realise we've gone through nearly 16 minutes without mentioning the fact we had a game at the weekend.
Leeds.
I'll come to Wayne first, right? Obviously, so once we've seen the famous moment from Conrad singing Wise Men Say, going, "Fools rush in," on the TV, bless him. We drew 1-1. So positives, Simon Adingra scored. First half was okay. Negatives, second half, apart from the last 10 minutes, was thoughts.
Yeah. That pretty much sums it up to be spot on, to be fair, Michael.
Right, Conrad, your turn next.
Apart from the last 10 minutes, it was...
First off, I thought we did all right. First off, to be fair, I was impressed with Adingra. By far, his best game for us. He was tracking back. He was full of energy. He was creating things. He was getting it there full-back, which was great to see. Obviously, we knew Bollard wasn't playing before the game. That was a massive blow in my eyes, because obviously, Dennis Certain coming in. And I'm still not convinced. And Artie's first game, he's still got potential, but we'll probably talk about their goal in a minute. I mean, he was at fault for their goal. But the first half was decent, without creating too much again, though. Having said that, we get the goal. It's a great goal by Adingra. A great spot by Xhaka, a great through ball. Then, what turned the game for me was Brian Brobby's 2 chances. If he takes one of them, it's 2-0 at half-time. And for me, Leeds, didn't get back in the game. It's game over then. And at this level, you have to take them chances, and we didn't. The second one, how we missed the second one, I've got no idea. Whether he overcompensated for missing the first one, I didn't know. But really, really disappointing not to get in at half-time, 2-0. Second half, we were shocking, to be fair, second half. When Leeds went to that back four, I thought they played into our hands, because they've been playing a back four all season and they've struggled. But when they brought Tanaka on, he changed the game for them, because the bullied our midfield. Enzo Olafia was getting bullied off the ball, couldn't keep hold of it. Robbie, it wasn't sticking anymore. They found us out every time we were too predictable. Did the same thing every time we got the ball, played from side to side of the 2 wingers. They had doubled up on the 2 wingers. We couldn't get out. It was coming straight back. And then we were lucky to get the point. I was more than happy with the point at the end of the game, to be fair. So a point gained in my eyes after a decent first half, but a woeful second half.
Do you think the second, and I want to ask Conrad this in particular, is there anything that you particularly disagree with, or are you on the same hymn sheet as Wayne?
No, I think the game changed when Rodon went off and they flipped it. It was, and interestingly, we scored because Rodon was kept on. He should have gone off about 5-10 minutes beforehand. He was absolutely knackered, could barely walk on his ankle. And then he was the one that was playing Adingra onside when he scored. With beautiful goal, by the way. Can't take anything away from it at all. Robbie should have scored one of those 2 chances. I don't really understand how he didn't make contact with the first one. That one to me is the bit like, it's just kicking the ball. Like, it's not spinning, it's not come at you quickly. You've watched it all the way, and then you've sort of kicked it, and it's sort of just moved 2 feet over there. I saw someone afterwards say, no, it should be a penalty. The keeper clattered him. It's like, no, he's touched the ball. He's not going to get like, he got a kick away. It's not, it wouldn't have been, I'd have taken it, but it wouldn't have been a penalty if you'd have asked me honestly about it. And then the header, I'm a bit like, I really don't understand how you've done that, especially considering your goal against Bournemouth, where you were being pulled around and you just literally leant your head back. You just let it hit you and it go in the far corner. And I'm a bit like, that's all you had to do here. I think he tried to just properly power it back, and that's what sort of did it. If he'd just let it hit him, it would have probably gone in. But I think Isidore misses that chance because he's terrible with his head, and I think Mayanda's not tall enough to get up there for that one as well. So I don't think either of them would have done it. I think Isidore and Mayenda go round the keeper for the other chance, though.
Yeah.
Which we've seen them do. Mayenda done in Coventry, Isidore done Borough, tried to do against Liverpool. You know, they're a bit more like, right, round and off we go. Maybe force the Leeds keeper into a sort of decision of bringing them down or something as well. You know, a bit of game management. First half, we were okay. You know, we lacked a lot of intensity in Leeds. Once that, like you said, was it Tanaka they brought on?
Yeah,
it completely changed it for us as well. When they dropped back to a back four, it was completely different. But your question was about the second half, Michael. Sorry, what did you say?
Well, what I was going to mention was, I think it was a mixture of us being really poor, but I think we also have to credit Leeds. I actually thought Leeds first 35 minutes, until the 80th minute or so, really, to be honest, I thought were very good. And dare I say, arguably the best upside with Arsenal, maybe, that a team's played against us at the Stadium of Light this season.
Yeah, that's what I said last night. I think they were probably the second best team we've seen this season. Based on that, they will not get relegated this season, based on how they played, the second half especially.
Yeah, absolutely. I said in my review that's the second best team I've seen this season behind Arsenal. And hopefully it stays that way after tomorrow's game, that they're the second best team that I've seen as well. They were brilliant. At the second half, they just hit a switch and just went for it. And the intensity that we missed against Man City away and that day was there right from them. And they did to us what we've done to three teams this season, where we've just come out instantly and gone for it. And then I don't know what Sirkin's doing at four. I have a picture. Do you mind? I'm going to show the pictures. So, I think where's me first one? Here. So that is the 46th minute and 33 seconds. Like, why does he feel the need at that moment at 1-0 up? I get the press, but no one else is pressing. Why have you sprinted from left back all the way? Just give it up at that point. There's no need for you to be closing down the keeper. When it went to that player on the left of Sirkin, sort of in the middle, just off the screen, at that point you should have gone, I'm not pressing the keeper. I'm not retarded. But he did anyway. And you know, that sort of threw us off, so that when you get to this point, the closest player to the ball is Xhaka playing at fullback. And no offense to him, he's not a fullback. He sort of tried to just marshal the space as best I could. Calvert-Lewin's movement was fantastic.
If you look at Calvert-Lewin where he is there and look where he is when he scores, right in between the two centre-halves, brilliant.
Yeah, he was fantastic movement there. But Sirkin is obviously highlighted there and you know, doesn't get anywhere near it. And Adingra is tracking back. But again, I think because he'd gone all the way up there and then Xhaka had to come down and someone else had to... We just didn't know really where we were. And the two centre-backs, like you say, that can happen with a really good striker who's on an absolute tear at the minute, that he just gets that gap in between the two of you and just slides it in. And it's just fucking annoying.
Can I put a devil's advocate thing in the room here, though? Could Mukiele not have tracked his run a bit better? Because when I watched it back, I thought, well, how's Calvert-Lewin got that extra yard to the right of him, where if he'd stopped his run properly, then he doesn't have the chance to strike the ball to the goal?
I think he's watching
or am I
the
being
ball.
Harsh there?
Maybe, I don't know, because I never like it when a striker gets in front of you as well. He's probably looking over, and by the time he's looking over and then he's sprinting, by the time he's turning to get there, he's already nipped his foot in the middle. And that's the thing, when a striker just stays off the shoulder of him and they do that sort of quick movement. And, you know, that's probably what it is. And Mukiele's playing centre-back, and for the last month he's been playing right back.
But like you said, Conrad, as well, in your preview video, that Calvert-Lewin gets his goal in the penalty spot and exactly where he got his goal from. That's where he
strayed 2 foot wide to get his goal. Like, all his other goals have been in a perfect line, apart from that one.
But maybe that's why Mukiele was central. All right, then.
But like, to give credit to them, I mean, I think
the build-up to their goal from their point of view was brilliant.
Oh, it was a perfect goal, wasn't it?
Every one of their players touched the ball. It was a perfect goal. It reminded me of our goal at Reading a couple of years ago. Similar type of scenario, but it was a good goal. Just not as good, no. But give them some credit, you know. To be fair, they came up here. We probably were a bit overconfident, thinking, you know, we're going to beat them. But second half, they were really outstanding, to be fair. But like I say, what worried me was we were far too predictable. We played the same way and didn't change it, and that was what was frustrating on my point. We just didn't change the way we played. Didn't offer anything different.
Yeah, Miles. But yeah, let's get some more comments to it. If Conrad, I'm assuming this is Conrad doing this, but yeah, cheers, mate. This is why you're the tech savvy guy of the lot of well, certainly not me anyway. Yes, Leeds says Miles Percival. Leeds were very good, but Calvert-Lewin is prone to an injury or two, and that could be their downfall. The only thing I would say for Leeds, I think January has a massive say in this, because the only thing I'd worry from a Leeds point of view is, just as I was going to mention that, John, West Ham have got the PSR wiggle room more so than Leeds, haven't they? Mm-hmm. So that's what makes me. I don't think Forest will go down. I know they lost to Everton the other day, but I don't think that they'll. I think Dyche will have too much about him for them to go down. And I still have my feeling that Nuno will probably do something similar to West Ham. But I think it's between Leeds and it's going to be between Leeds and West Ham for me for that last spot.
You know what though? I don't think Bournemouth is safe. If Bournemouth lose Semenyo, I think they've lost on a 9-game. They've
not won since October.
They're 9 points above the bottom three, for reference.
So I think they're not safe yet. And if they lose Semenyo, their best player, they didn't replace him, they could be in trouble.
Miles of Sunderland says we let them play well. We had no intensity or tempo. Stephen Martin, teams will know how to play against us. Have we got a plan B for the rest of the season? Yeah, but that's what Reggie's about, isn't it? It'll be developing a plan B. I remember January is going to be massive as well. And we've got to remember to give to John McKinney. No, it's fine. I'll read this out anyway. Dingo was outstanding against Leeds. You'll have to track back and help Sirkin when Cherky's on his tail. I think that they're playing as well as Leeds playing Man City's a different kettle of fish. So if the players don't know that, then I'm very, very worried. I'll get onto my point in a bit, actually, when I finish. Wolsey, I'm just going to say that, because it's can't bother to pronounce the rest of it. Watching him walk back with their goal had me fuming. Xhaka shouldn't have to be falling at a left back to cover. I do get the criticism of Circuit. My personal opinion, there was enough opportunities there to stop the goal regardless of that. But, I'm clean sheet wanker. I always pick apart goals we concede. So, it's one of them, isn't it? What I was going to ask, do you think the lads deserve how can I put this? Obviously, the performance from our standards was poor, and I don't think these players will be giving themselves excuses. I think they'll be wanting to be better than that. But when you list off who we've had missing, when you had Ballard, Siddiqui, okay, Diarra been out with a couple of months, but he's got AFCON as well, Reynaldo, and congratulations to him because Mozambique have qualified for the knockouts tonight, unfortunately for us, which means he's not going to be back for at least probably another few days at least. Anyway,
Yay.
So there.
Good on you.
I know, hey, brilliant. AFCON being played in the middle of a season, fantastic. So Ballard through injury, Reynaldo, Siddiqui, Diarra, Talbi, Traore. Okay, Masuaku doesn't play. We'll not count him very much. But you know my point. That's a lot of players to miss out of a regular. I mean, even if you look at Talbi, Traore, Reynaldo, and Siddiqui. Even if you take out Diarra, that's still a third of your team that's been playing that's just been lost. Now, obviously, look, I still think that even if we lose the next three, we're not going to be anywhere near the bottom three, you would think, not in terms of points. So I think what's encouraging from my point of view is we've got enough of a buffer to be able to get through this period. And I don't think AFCON's going to affect us as badly as a lot of people say it is. But I don't know what you think, Wayne. There's no doubt that if you take any of those players, like say your four of your best players out of any side, they're going to struggle. It's like with Leeds, if you take out Calvert-Lewin, Stack, Rodon, Bogle, for example, you take them four out, they're going to feel
it. I mean, that's some of the arguments I've been on with the Leeds fans, on my channel, saying, you cannot moan, what you were signing before the start.
Which is a fair point, I suppose.
Which is fair enough, it is, but
it's a fair point.
The Wild, you can't use that as an excuse, but you can, if especially Reynaldo and Siddiqui, probably your two best players behind Xhaka, then of course you're going to be weakened. Riggs come in, but Riggs for me he's not a winger. He's too lightweight. He's not ready for the Premier League yet. He's been a miss. Certain played left back is nowhere near the same class as Reynaldo. So you take them out your side, and of course you're going to struggle. 100% you're going to struggle. We've just got to try and muddle through and get as many points as we can. If we had a full strength team, we'd probably beat Brighton. There's another 2 points.
I think we certainly beat Leeds if we had a full strength team.
Definitely.
But that's not Leeds' problem. We didn't. No. They can only play what's in front of them.
I think Alderete felt like he had an off game because he kept. Like there was a couple of times the cross came over. Sirkin doesn't tend to look who's behind him or watch his runner coming in, and Alderete felt like he was having to cover like a lot of space and sort of make sure that he did have to, because the amount of times he strayed out to left back to go and like kick it clear or do something because he didn't want to do little cute passes to Sirkin like he does with Reynaldo to get out, or Siddiqui. It was just like he felt like he was. I'm not saying he had a bad game. I'm just saying he felt like he was uncomfortable with. Do
you think for his standards he might have had an off game? because his standards are very high,
Why-
more than he had a bad game.
I was going to ask this. So I think he's brilliant, and he's got some absolutely unreal touches to get out of sort of tricky situations. But he loves a fucking hospital ball across the back to somebody or under hitting a pass, and I'm just like, every time I go, oh fuck, all right, it's fine. Jesus.
Do you mean like as in when he's about to do the Hollywood ball, but he gets pressed, and the second before he gets pressed,
and
he
turns
gets the ball
around.
away?
Yeah,
because I'm going.
There's a few that he's like dinked up over his head, or like he's just shouldered it over someone, and
you just think, already, can you please not get my heart rate up? Like,
yeah,
on your toes.
And then sometimes I'm like, stop passing it that far.
Did you see a picture? Sorry, before you make your point, someone put a picture online of like there's the watches that track what your blood sugar, what your blood levels like, what your stress levels like. Someone went, your stress levels for the last 90 minutes have been really, really high. Me and he's because Sunderland are playing. That's why it's been really high. Sorry, Wayne, go on, mate.
I was going to say, I mean, obviously one about circling, but for me, Trey Hume had a bad game. I thought Okafor
he really struggled.
Tortured him for the full game. He really struggled against Okafor. I was impressed by him for them. I thought he was really, really good. So the two fullbacks for me really struggled on Sunday.
Hume really struggles with direct wingers. So when Newcastle beat us in the FA Cup, Gordon was on fire that day and was just charging at him every single time, and he really struggled with that one. If you think this game's this season where he's not been that good, it's because people have actually gone at him rather than try to sort of mess about or sort of, cut in and out. And Okafor just had him every single time. I will say he saved it from being 1-1 before half-time when he cleared up behind Roofs and took it off the line. But then a minute later, he just hugged Okafor, moved out of his way and let him run past him. And it was a bit like, don't do something amazing and then something thick and just sort of like, oh, that's fine. It was he's been brilliant this season, and you can have an off game like that. That's fine. It's just... that's the type of game you don't want to drop points in. And I don't mean we got a point and I'm thrilled we got a point in it. Do you know what I mean? But it's just Leeds are how many points behind us? Eight. So it can all quickly change, like especially with these players missing, and looks like a bit longer for a couple of them anyway. A bad result here or there, and all of a sudden we're going. Well, I don't want to say we're going down, nothing like that, because Wolves and Burnley are firmly gone, I believe. And after that, there's too many to sort of really sort of put us in there. But all of a sudden, you start to go, well, actually, your good start isn't that good anymore. There was a comment just before, Michael, that I thought of you when it came. Where was it? I'll just scroll back for it there. But it asked, where was it? Something about 35, 36 points to stay up, I believe.
Oh, this is probably because I keep mentioning 40 points.
There it is, Glyn. There you go.
Do you think 40, 35 or 36 points keeps us up? I don't know. Let's get to 40 first, then I'll answer that. I can see. I mean, if you look at the trajectory, I mean, what is it? West Ham in 19 games. Well, yeah, it's halfway through the season for them. They're on 14 points, and they could. So if this trajectory is right, they'll end up on 28. But I don't think that they. I don't think they will. I think they'll get more than that. It depends, depending on what they do in January, I think they'll get more than that. That's the best way to put it. But if you're looking at it this way, so would 35, 36 possibly? My personal opinion is you might need 37, 38, but I don't know. It just depends. What was the one before John said about Leeds not coping if they had 6 players out?
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah, that's okay. Right,
a Leeds fan said that too. We heard a Leeds fan say it as well. Apparently, it's Reinildo versus Traore in the knockout round of the next round. So one of them is coming back.
Is there any way that they can both play really, really bad and both teams can get
knocked out? How about
both
are eliminated?
Both get knocked out.
By the way, did you see that thing, Michael? I know you saw it, Wayne. The Congo fan moaning at Masuaku like on his TikTok, and like it was just basically what we said about the Forest game, the Man United game, and what other game he played. He just went, he doesn't even stand. The ball goes under his foot. We're just sitting there going, it's not just us.
Oh, we had to have so many AFCON players, but yeah, I think the point about AFCON is that
hang on, I lie. Someone says he got.
You're on power. Ronaldo plays against Nigeria. Okay,
so he's not playing.
But in the end, I think you've got to look at it this way. I think that Leeds were definitely worthy of at least a point. I think the point was the best we deserved and the least they deserved. I think that's the best way to put it. Don't know who this guy supports. I think it's either Villa. I think it's Liverpool.
Yeah, LFC at the end.
LFC, yeah.
Red Rebellion. I like that name, Red Rebellion.
Although Bellion used to play for Sunderland and Man United, I will say, but I know it's Red Rebellion.
Fair enough, then. You guys have a chance to finish above United and Chelsea, so depending how hard your team pushes, 5th could be possible this season. Mate, I'm not even looking at that yet. Let's get to 40.
If Mike was here, he'd be like, yeah.
He'd be all over that.
No. If Mike was here, he'd be disappointed with that because he wants Champions League.
That's true.
Let's be real. Come on, Mike's the delusional optimist, bless him. But yeah, look, I mean, don't get us wrong. Imagine if we finished 5th, man. Right, before I delude myself into thinking we're going to do that, let's move on. I was thinking, but you know what, to be fair, right? Leeds, I think, in the end, did more than deserve at least a point out of it. And I think towards the end, I was relieved not to have lost the game because it's another point. I know I keep mentioning 40. That's going to be Bauer's bingo at this point. But honestly, it's a point closer to that tally. And I think, do you guys, before we move on to the general stuff that we usually do, like whether questions or whatever else, do you guys think that we have done all right in the last 2 games, considering who we've had missing?
Yeah. I mean,
I think we've done okay.
If you'd offered us the points we've took, I mean, obviously.
Sorry, Wayne, just add to that. Sorry to interrupt. With the context of Ballard being injured pre-Leeds as well.
As well, I mean, we knew Leeds were in form. Brighton, if you had said before the game would take a point, of course you would have had.
Apart from Mike. Disappointing not to take 3 on the way the game panned out. But for me, we've just got to try and pick up as many points as we can with these players being away. And 2 points out of them 2 games for me, the way the game's played, I'm more than happy with that. Especially Sunday. We got away with one there Sunday, 100%.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think full strength team we get 4 or 6 out of them, but we don't have a full strength team, so we make do with what we can. So we got a point at Brighton, which I was over the moon with, and we played really bad, and we got a point against Leeds, so I'm over the moon with a point at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think I'm probably the same with it. I wouldn't go as far as over the moon because I really did want to beat Leeds. I think if it was at Ellen Road, I'd be more than happy enough with it.
I think it was more the context of how I was watching us play and just going like,
if you look at the
performance,
performance, I can see where it's coming from. Yeah, because they were definitely the better team for more of the game than what they had better spells and for longer periods of time than we did. I think, to be fair, I mean, look, let's pretend for a second that Red Rebellion is right about finishing 5th potentially, right? If you're still in touching distance of that when everyone comes back from AFCON, and with January in mind, then who knows? Anything is possible there. But we shall wait and see. But anyway, is there any more points you got to add about the Leeds game before we move on? Or anything else?
No. I'm quite happy to do
the ref was pretty poor for both teams, I will say. Just want to throw
it. Yeah, well, that's no surprise. I'm trying not to mention him too much, but yeah, he was shocking.
Standard.
Really poor. Pretty much. There was an occasion in the first half where I think we got a goal kick that should blatantly have been a Leeds corner, which I couldn't believe when...
Is that the one with Hume? Or Mukiele down the far end and from us, obviously near end.
I think so, yes. It was one of them two, now you've mentioned it.
And it was just, even our end went, corner. Oh, okay. Must have missed something.
Yeah, it was ridiculous how that ended up happening. And there was a couple of times when, Adingra and Brobbey were just getting casually manhandled and thrown to the floor and no free kick was getting given and I was getting...
Sorry. Quickly, I was watching some highlights of the Premier League last night. Did anyone watch West Ham Brighton or watch the highlights of it?
The only thing I've seen of it is Welbeck's missed penalty. That's the only thing I've seen.
They got a penalty for wrestling, like holding on to someone and going down. So with that logic, we should have had 4 penalties against Newcastle because Ballard was manhandled on every single one. A bit like when we played Brentford earlier on in the season and 2 penalties were given for handling. Yet in every other game since, we've never had a penalty for handling, yet all the players are doing it. It's just... does my head in.
Aye.
No, I know what you mean. But even if you remember the Everton one, the penalty, even though that wasn't like to do with that.
I'm all right with that because Everton had one robbed off of them the other day that was blatant. And we're like, it's a blatant handball. And I'm like, yeah, it serves you fucking right. Like,
Karma.
Yeah. Well, we shall see. Karma, much like the team photo. But anyway, sorry, but to get away from that, go on then, Wayne, you go first with your...
I've got
a 2025 quiz. I'm going to get in 2 seconds.
Well, no. I've got a 2025 quiz, and this is probably right up Conrad Street, to be fair, but we'll see how it goes. So,
go on then.
Who scored Sunderland's first goal of 2025?
Eliza Mayenda.
Against?
Sheffield United. Sheffield United.
Yeah.
Who received...
Conrad, I'm going to give him a run for his money on this one. Go on.
Who received Sunderland's first red card of 2025?
09.
Nope.
What was his first red card of 2025?
I thought he got sent off against Sheffield United. Oh, no, he nearly did. He did everything else but, didn't he? He got an own goal, gave away a penalty and got a yellow card.
Red
I'm
card.
trying to remember.
The first red card of 2025. It was in April. I'll give you a clue.
Oh, right. Okay. I was thinking in January.
Trey Hume, Bristol City.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, forgot about
Last
that. Yeah. Mm.
Is it because it was in
who's-
that bad losing run that you tried to forget it?
Yeah, I just deleted those 5 games from my memory.
Wasn't that the goal where Mayenda scored from his own penalty box when he ran?
Yeah, you can't forget
run?
that, Conrad.
Yeah, I remember that. I just don't remember Bristol City's 2 goals to win the game, or 1 goal to draw it.
Who scored the most goals for Sunderland in the calendar year 2025?
It's got to be Wilson. Actually, no, Wilson is a goal. It's got to be.
Conrad?
He's
scored against
got
Sheffield
4 this season, but Mayenda's, if we're counting the playoff ones as well.
Well, he got 4 at the back end of. Hang on, no.
Just to be different, I'm going to go Mayenda.
Before Wayne answers, hang on. So he scored against Sheffield United, scored against Portsmouth, scored against Borough, he scored against Leeds, scored against Coventry. Then for this, it's got to be Isidore.
But Mayenda scored against Sheffield United. He scored against Derby. He scored against.
Yeah, good point. Actually,
he scored against a few of them in the run-up. He scored against Millwall, I believe. And
before Wayne reveals it, is it one of them two?
Yeah, and then it was Coventry, and then it was.
Yeah, but you got to
Sheffield
remember,
United, and then West Ham.
Season, though.
But he's only had 3 since Isidore, so it's going to be close. There's going to be like 1 or 2 in it, isn't there?
It is Wilson Isidore.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. It is quite like it's Mayenda Championship. Isidore more Prem, really, isn't it?
He got 7 the back end of last season, and then 4 this season. Who was the first team to beat Sunderland in the league in 2025?
I think it was.
I've deleted this.
No, it was
Premier League chasing Champions League.
It was. Hang on. What you say in the calendar year? Who was the first team to beat us?
The first team to beat us in 2025.
Right. In the league, it was Leeds. Over all competitions, it was Stoke in the FA Cup.
Well done, Michael. Leeds. It is 17th of February. Who were the first team to win at the Stadium of Light in 2025?
Hull.
Yeah, Hull.
Hull. Yeah. 1-0. What was Sunderland's longest unbeaten run in 2025? How many games?
4.
Hang on.
Because we kept thinking like, we're going to catch the top 2, and then we'd stumble.
Are we including the cups in this win, or is it just the league?
Longest unbeaten run.
But again,
the playoffs.
Overall.
All competitions or league? In just league, I mean.
League.
Right, okay. Because that impacts me thinking here.
This is not winning run, it's unbeaten run. Winning, not winning run, unbeaten run.
That's what I'm trying to think here. Hang on.
I still think 4 or 5.
I think it's longer than that. Sheffield United. Sorry, Wayne, I'm going to end up counting this. Sheffield United, Portsmouth.
While you're doing that, Mal says 5. Another Mal says 6. Michael Brown says 9. Emma says, look at this season. Bo Jingle says 6.
Yeah, I'm going to say 8. I think it was in the league. It was Sheffield United, Portsmouth, Burnley. Obviously, we forget that because of the 2 missed penalties. Derby, Plymouth, Middlesbrough. And then I think it's Watford, then Luton before we lost to Leeds.
Correct.
Yeah, thought so.
Good. Very good.
Well done.
This is where being autistic is a good thing.
It's a superpower.
Yeah, Rain Man.
Sunderland,
in other words.
What was Sunderland's longest winning run in 2025? How many games?
I'm
I
going to
think
go
it's
back
got
to
to
4.
be 2. Because I don't think we've ever won more than 2 at once.
So we won 2 games on 4 occasions. So Sheffield United, Portsmouth, Sheffield, Cardiff, Millwall, West Brom, and then Wolves and Chelsea this season. So when you think about how successful we have been, to only ever won 2 off the bounce in them runs is quite remarkable, to be fair.
Yeah.
It shows how good we are at not losing games.
Who was the first player to be sent off against Sunderland in 2025?
Against Sunderland.
Who was the first player to be sent off against in 2025? I was thinking.
Well, Bournemouth had Lewis Cook sent off, but I have a feeling that's not the answer. Actually, it might be. I don't remember anyone getting sent off against. Hang on.
No, I wasn't there last season, so I've got like a mixed memory of it. Whereas this season, I'm sort of trying to scan through. Yeah, I'll just go Lewis Cook because Michael said it.
It was Marlon Pack, Portsmouth.
Oh, of course.
Professional.
No, you're right.
According to SofaScore ratings, who had the most man of the match performances in 2025?
Isidore?
I'm going to go Enzo Lefebvre.
Nope.
Okay.
Ballard was injured a lot and wasn't playing in the Championship for times as well, but then he has been this season.
Tria Hume, 4 man of the matches.
How many of them were in the Prem, or does not say?
0.
2025, it'll be all the World Championship.
He got a lot of. He won Player of the Season at Sunderland, so that would make sense actually. That last
Ballard's
season.
got 3, and Roofs has got 3 as well. What was Sunderland's biggest win of 2025?
West Ham.
Yeah, I don't think we beat anyone by 3-0. Yeah,
3-0. Yeah.
There's a couple of games we won by 2 goals, I think, but we rarely won by more than that.
Yeah. What was Sunderland's heaviest defeat of 2025?
Coventry 3-0.
Mixture, joint Coventry, Man City.
Yeah, Coventry and Man City. And the last one.
Yeah, but Coventry's more embarrassing, so that's fine.
Coventry was shocking. Who scored his first goal back in the Premier League?
Mayender.
Eliza Mayender.
No point. Conrad would have beaten us to it, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's this season I was there. It's like, oh, right. That's the only one you asked this season when I'm like, right, I'm ready.
Can you do a 2024-25 Sunderland Conrad quiz for Conrad? See how many he gets right.
Oh, I won't be
See how many he gets right.
I only got 2 on this one.
Here's a quick one for Conrad then. Who was Reggie Lebris's first competitive game for Sunderland against?
Cardiff won it.
Yep.
Yeah, 2-0 away because we were buzzing. We won our first. We don't win
First
on the
game of
opening
the
day of
season.
the season.
Yeah,
Who scored the first goal?
09 header from
09.
Sirkin, headed it across the box, and then Clark scored the second one.
Yeah, his last goal for Sunderland.
And then we
good
beat
to see Clark doing quite well for Ipswich actually this season.
Yeah.
Someone who thought Kieran McKenna, you play him in his natural position and he does well.
Someone put up a stat the other day. I haven't got it on the hand, but it was a bit like, here's a list of all the players who've scored 20 goals, 15 assists in 40 games in the Championship. And it went, Jack Clark, number 1. That's the list. It was just like, but that obviously includes time with us and what have you there as
I was
well.
going to say, have you seen like Clark and Yaden Philogene at Ipswich have got like 15, 16 goals between them?
Yeah, I know.
Ipswich's left-hand side, stupid. Hey, okay, go on then, Conrad. What have you got for us?
I've got a bit different this time. I've not a blind ranking. I've gone, if anyone's seen the game Tenable, I'm just going to give you a category and I just want the top 10 answers. It does all relate to Sunderland, but I've tried to go fairly easy for you for the first one of trying it. So I'm just going to read out something and I just want 10 answers from you and I'll tell you if they're on the list. So I just want Sunderland's all-time top 10 Premier League goal scorers.
Kevin Phillips.
Jermaine Defoe.
In at number 1, in at number 2.
Okay.
Now is this all time?
All time.
All-time pro. Oh, God. Okay.
But I will say, like, apart from one other name, they're all more recent, Michael.
Okay, fine. Darren Bent, I'm going to guess.
In at number 3.
Niall Quinn.
In at number 4.
So we said Quinn, Phillips, Defoe, Bent.
Yeah, now you're stuck, aren't you?
Right, pretty much.
Charlie White.
Okay. I'm going to guess Stephen Fletcher.
Premier League?
Who do you say?
It's Charlie White.
Will Grigg.
Did you say Stephen Fletcher?
Yes.
In at number 6 with 23 goals for Sunderland.
All right.
You can go to the comments as well. Asamoah is not on the list, so I will take a life away from you. You've got 3 lives, so that's 1 life gone. I didn't count.
How many have you guessed? How many guessed correctly so far?
5 out of 10.
Okay.
But you've got
halfway stage.
Yeah,
all right.
You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 in order.
Kenwyn Jones.
Kenwyn Jones in at number 5 with 26 goals.
26, didn't you mean?
See, it doesn't take much to be on this list. Like, if you think Isidor's on 4, and I know he's not prolific or anything.
It probably shouldn't take much, though, considering we've been out of the Prem for the last 8 years until.
Well, 10th.
Connor Wickham
has 14 goals. 10th has 14. Connor Wickham is not on this list.
I didn't think he would be.
No. He must be on like 10.
Like, well, you say 10th has 14 goals?
Yeah.
And I'm guessing you say they're not all just strikers, are they?
Adam Johnson?
No. Yes, name redacted is in 7th.
Yeah, good point, actually. He probably will be on there.
Name redacted is in 7th.
Name redacted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had 19 goals. It's good that he didn't have 15, isn't it?
No comment. Right, so how many more have we got left to get?
You've got to get 8, 9, and 10.
And
I think only one of them is classified as a striker to help you out there. Come on, in the comments, we've got some. I'll read out the names that they've said that are not on this list just to help. So we've got Michael Bridges, James McLean, Gabbiadini, Cisse, Seb Larson, Dwight York.
I had debated Seb Larson.
Someone put pedo, so yeah, he was number 7. Nicholas Bentner, Michael Gray. Those are names that are not.
Okay,
Valverde is only 13 goals behind our number one. 10%, sorry.
Okay, I've got one. Now this could be totally wrong, but I'm just going to say if I've got this wrong, Wayne's got the first 2 wrong. So was it Stefan Sessignon? I've got a funny feeling he might be there.
In at number 8 with 17 goals is Stefan Sessignon.
Okay, so it's 8 and 10 we've got left.
8 and 10.
9 and 10.
9 and 10. Okay.
With 14 goals each.
Oh, Don Hutchinson.
One is a striker and one is not. Don Hutchison, that is one of your other lives gone. Don Hutchison, he was only there for 1 season. Don Hutchison, how prolific do you think he was?
Guy, good point actually.
Come on, the comments are screaming one at you. Wayne, you should have mentioned the striker one, surely.
Right, I'm going to try and guess the one that
yes, Fabio Barini in at number 9.
Oh, do you know what? I'm kicking myself now. I didn't think of that one earlier.
Right.
So is that the striker one?
That's the striker one. So there's John Stead is not there, Bailey. Don't be daft.
Okay, this is a completely random guess, and it's probably wrong. I'm going to go out on a limb and go Phil Bardsley.
No.
No, I didn't think so.
Is this number 10 we're looking for?
Last one.
Julio Arca.
No. You've gone past your lives now. I'm just enjoying having a guess at it there. Someone put Steed. He only scored 1 goal.
Is it since I got into football? Because if it's not, I'm going to be useless.
Probably not, no. But we did debate him in a Derby video we did.
Okay.
Kevin Ball? No, not be Kevin Ball. Not Premier
Hang on.
League.
No, hang on. Kieran Richardson?
Kieran Richardson is correct.
Okay, so kind of was. Yeah, he was still there when I got into it. Okay, then.
Yeah, so that's your 10. So it was Phillips with 61, Defoe with 34, Bent with 32, Quinn with 29, Jones 26, Fletcher 23, Redacted 19, Sessignon with 17,
Sessignon.
Fabio Barini 14, and Kieran Richardson 14 as well.
Joke fair, I only got 1 guess wrong, so I'm not quite proud of that.
Well done.
Fair enough, then. Fair enough. No, I do like that. And actually, I couldn't see any of the comments, so it was definitely helpful to not be distracted.
Just mixing it up from a blind ranking of trying to trick you and sort of do that. I thought, well, if I just asked that, and I thought, nice, easy one.
What a surprise!
So you get the idea of the game if I do another one next time.
Now that's great because you've started with the easy ones. So when Mike comes back, he's got the more difficult ones.
Exactly.
That'll be quite funny watching.
But he reads the comments and just uses them for his ideas anyway.
I've noticed that.
Well, speaking of comments, is there any more to go through before I ask my question?
Yeah. No, that's all right. Go for it.
Okay. So my question is actually quite a fun one, this. Because obviously 2025, yeah, I mean, it's been a pretty bland year for Sunderland. We've only got promoted and we're only like 7th in the Prem, ending 7th in the Prem going into the year. And this is going into 2026 because I'm not expecting anything tomorrow. But we'll talk about Man City in a bit. But I was going to ask you, so I actually asked this on my own. I did a stream on my own channel this morning, actually. But I'll ask it again here because obviously you've got the new legends with your people who watch your videos as well. So this will be quite fun for everyone to get into. And this is in order as well. What is your top 5 games of 2025 for Sunderland?
Ooh.
And you can have a bit of time to think about it because I've just literally thrown at you on the fly.
Go on. Well, if you do yours earlier on, Michael.
Well, I did mine. So I'll tell you.
Go on, you tell yours now while I have a think here.
Okay, right, that's fine. Right, so my 5, let's see if I can remember correctly. My 5, actually, I'm cheating a little bit here. It's kind of in between 2 games. So if there's 2 you really can't decide on, you can put 1 game / other. So, for example, for me, 5th was 2 games I wasn't at, and was the only home game I wasn't at because I was away in Manchester to see my cousins for their birthdays. Arsenal 2-2 and Chelsea 2-1. They were both joint 5th because it's hard to separate them, but it's only because I wasn't at either of them. So that's why, for me, they are joint 5th in that regard. But I think both results speak for themselves. Need I say more, really? And especially when you look at the limbs for Broby's goal at the end against Arsenal, given at the time they were the runaway leaders. And then obviously Chelsea Chelsea. I mean, come on, winning at Stamford Bridge, you can't knock that. Fourth for me was the Coventry playoff semi-final. Dan Ballard, need I say more than that? Third was West Ham. I think the day itself was just absolutely fantastic. I think from start to finish, and I'm someone who quite sad in this, but I'm someone that if the weather's good, because it was really sunny and really warm that day, it epitomised Sunderland's comeback into the Premier League with a win over West Ham. Nice, comfortable 3-0 win, even though first half they actually played quite well, I thought, which is the weird thing. They ended 3-0. The second one, richest game in football, Championship playoff final. Of course, it's the game that's kind of transformed everything financially for Sunderland. Tommy Watson, of course, ended it the best way he could have ended his Sunderland career after being already announced he was going to Brighton. And even if we're gone up and come straight back down, I said this at the time, that's financially game-changing for Sunderland. And just to win a playoff final, and we're quite lucky we got to see 2 playoff wins in the last, 4 years. And then the first one, visitors game. It's got to be right up there. It's just beating your rivals. And it might be sad saying putting the Derby win over a promotion, but yeah, come on. You're beating your rivals, given everything they've gone through and we've gone through. I think that was, especially after the team fought with nonsense, karma, and it was kind of a redemption sort of thing for me. So to quickly summarise it before these two get into it, fifth is Arsenal/Chelsea. It's difficult to separate. Maybe just edge Arsenal, possibly. But it's either one or all. Fourth, Coventry at home. Third, West Ham at home. Second, Sheffield United in the playoff final in the Championship. And then first, Newcastle at home.
And that,
so either of you got your list ready?
That is my exact same 5, Michael.
What, in that order?
I've got Arsenal, 2-2, the atmosphere. The Coventry semi-final at home, the atmosphere. The West Ham game, first game back in the Prem, was unreal. Obviously, the playoff final at Wembley, and then the Mags game, the last one. That's my 5.
If Conrad got the exact same one, this is going to last literally about 2 seconds.
I have the exact same 5. So I have a different order. So I went Sheffield United playoff in number 5, just because I wasn't there.
Ooh. Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
So I wasn't there, but it was great watching it on the telly. But
it's great. I can imagine it's not quite as good if you weren't there.
Yeah, exactly. So it would have been better being there. Coventry playoffs in number 4 because the game was an absolute stress. Absolute stress. But that moment at the end is arguably the best goal moment I've ever seen at the Stadium of Light. I have gone Arsenal in third for the 2-2 because it felt like it was properly announcing to the Premier League, to football fans in general, that we're serious. Then that we're not. Everyone was like, and everyone was like, oh, yes, they're going to absolutely steamroll you. They don't even concede goals, and we hit them first. Obviously, they hit us twice, and then we still sort of got back into it there as well. I've actually got Newcastle in second because
is it the same reason as Coventry that the game was really stressful?
No, it was because I wish we'd scored more, and I wish we'd done. The goal itself was a bit like, I'm so glad we've won and all the positions we've been in, over the last years and what have you, and where they've been. And it was a beautiful day, but I just wish we'd, like one of the 3-0 games where we'd absolutely done them over, because we were more than capable of doing it, and they weren't very good. I just wish we'd done that. So for me, I actually put the West Ham game up at the first one, just because of, again, similar thing of where we'd been, and then we were back, sun was shining, all these new players are coming, we were all excited. Pre-season hadn't been great, and then we just absolutely blew away from 60th minute. We got 1, got 2, and everyone was a bit like, oh my God. And then the third, just icing on the cake. We didn't have to be stressed about it or anything like that. It was just, the whole day was like, you are back in the Premier League. A bit like one of my favourite goals is Chopra's winner against Spurs on the first day.
First game back in the Prem under Roy Keane, wasn't it?
Yeah, just because it was the first game of the Premier League season. We were a midday kickoff, and everyone was watching it going, oh, Spurs, they've got Berbatov, Keane, Defoe, Bent. They're going to be getting Champions League this year. And there's little old Sunderland, and we just rock up and we play really well and then steal the win at the end. And it was like, that's right, we're back, we're serious. And West Ham had that kind of vibe to it as well. And everyone thought we were going to go down with less points in Southampton. So.
Correct, aye.
Well, just to point out, we're more than doubled their tally. So yeah, let's just put it that way. That's how bad they were.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I can see why you put that in there. I think if I'm talking about the games as a whole that I enjoyed during the game, thank you very much, Urban Pecker. Urban Pecker.
Urban Pecker.
You Urban Pecker, you.
Oh yeah, pretty much. Yeah. There we go. Sorry there, mate. I think if you're looking at the games as a whole, looking at them, the one I enjoyed the most was West Ham because of the reasons you said. But I think it's one where, and actually I suppose a follow-up question really is, in what way can 2026 top 2025? Because 2025 has been an incredible year. I mean, if you look at the first 4 months, it was pretty all right. It was meh. It was okay. But then it's really since May that it started to properly take off, hasn't it? So, but how does 2026 top 2025? The only way for me it does is either win the FA Cup or get into Europe or something like that.
Do you know what? I think as daft as it sounds for me, it'll be staying up because to stay up is vitally important. Now we're pretty much there anyway. But if we can get them 40 points as early as possible, and then who knows what can happen? You know, I'm interested to see what happens in January. So, like you say, how can you top 2025 without actually winning something? It's mad. The year we've had.
Mike would have been perfect for this question.
Yeah, I mean, Mike would have said, "Win all games, win the league." I think for me, I would like to see a good cup run. If I was because the last time we got past, I think the first round of a competition, we got to the quarterfinals of the League Cup, and we were in League One with Lee Johnson. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think
there was one occasion when we got past the first round. We entered the tournament in since Mowbray, when we got past Shrewsbury and then played Fulham.
Oh yeah, right. Well, that counts. Yeah, but it does, I suppose. But
first round to be fair. Yeah, we thought we entered in the third round instead of the first. So you're not wrong technically.
It's just it feels like all the time we never get. I want to start feeling like, oh, actually, we're only one away from this, and we're on there. And I actually want them to go to Everton and give it a go. And I know we might still not have some players back, but I'm sitting there going, I want full strength. I want to give it a go. I want to actually see us do well in the FA Cup. And I appreciate against Huddersfield earlier on in the season, we were like, we need to concentrate on the league in the initial part.
Yeah, that's
so we'll put the weaker team out. If we get through, we get through. Great. If we don't, we don't. Never mind. I'd love to see the unbeaten home run carry on. And people go like, fucking hell, they've played Arsenal, they've played Man City, like they've played Newcastle, they've played all these teams, and they're still unbeaten at home. Apart from that, I'm sort of trying to keep feet firm. I just want to win some more away games. Just those that Chelsea feeling and the Nottingham Forest feeling are some of the best this season. I've not been at the games, that's why I didn't put them in my list. But that feeling of you watch Sunderland go away and turn these teams and if we got 6 points off Newcastle, I'm gutted, by the way. So I did that video with the Sun, the Sunderland and Newcastle fan arguing, and they cut it out. I was quite glad at first because he rattled me a little bit at the end, and I went, just wait till we get 6 points off of you, and then I held it back because I was like, I said it, but I was a bit like, what have I said here? They're going to clip that up, and they didn't. And now I'm sitting there going, fucking put that bit out. I might be right.
Why didn't you put that back in there?
I know. So, so if we take 6 points off of Newcastle, then yeah.
I'd be delighted if we take 4 off them.
I mean, for me, that'd be great as well. But to do 6 after all the years of how much they've had a good time and we've not, to come back up and go, we beat you twice and we finished above you, and no week in the season were you above us in the season would be fantastic.
That would the meltdown and Tyneside would be glorious.
Oh, it'd be so good. I mean, 38 weeks of the season, you weren't above us once, apart from alphabetical start.
I know, and that's it. And it's literally when we've been out of the Prem for 8 years and we've just come back and done it. I actually looked at the team against Huddersfield in the Huddersfield game just to see what it was. So the team was against Huddersfield was Patterson, Huggins, Mukiele, Masuaku, Harrison Jones. I completely forgot he played. Rigg, Neil, Lafay, Roberts, Isidore, Gayu. So that's as serious enough as you could have taken it, really. I still think that team was good enough to beat Huddersfield, personally, even though it obviously didn't.
We need to move on to Man City because Wayne's got a takeaway that's going cold that he ordered and it was delayed.
I have to admit, I've got Indian takeaway that I need that. Well, I'll tell you, the last thing I'll say is, yes, I do hope we give Everton a good goal because even if we lose the next 3, we're 12 points away from the 40-point mark, and you would back us to get that over the season. Right, okay then. I know I have a takeaway waiting downstairs.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Mr. Optimism. Right, Man City, go on then. Is this game a free hit?
No.
Well, I think after the way we played Sunday, we've got to try and put that right. If we have 2 bad performances on the spin, for me it's disappointing. I know we're playing Man City, but I think, and the way we played down there as well, we have to we owe them a performance, to be fair. And now we've got these players missing at home. We've just got to improve from Sunday as well. So I think the players now have got to improve as well. So for me, it's not a free hit. For me, it's the one where I've got to be in there fully focused and give it a right go. Give it a right go.
Yeah, same. I'm a bit like, I want to see a better performance. And I appreciate the context of why we had a bad performance against Man City the first time. And in fairness, second half, we did give it a go. And then they hit us on the counter and got a third. And it was like, right, doesn't matter. Xhaka off, Siddiqui off, everyone important off.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate the context behind it. I really want to see us give it a fight and a good go like we saw against Arsenal and make it really difficult for them. So that's what I want here. I think we're more than capable of getting something from them. They're not unbeatable, but they are on a really good run at the moment. But Forest caused them a lot of problems the other day, and they really did sort of get away with it by the end. So I think we could do it, and that would be the best thing ever to watch. Like Mayenda come off the bench and round, what's he called, Donnarumma, and slot it in like the 96th minute or something after they've had
restart the 1-0 Sunderland wins at Stadium against
exactly.
I think they might rest some players at the weekend. I know they've got Chelsea in 3 or 4 days.
I don't think so. I think they'll win. I think Pep Guardiola kind of will know, because Arsenal beat Villa the other night, that I think they need to win this game.
We said this before we started. We said the same thing, that they're chasing Arsenal. They can't afford to take their foot off the gas, really. They've got to come to try and beat us, which is probably the only benefit that plays into our hands, I suppose.
Yeah, it depends how you defend it. I think, personally, for me, this game, purely because of who's missing, is a free hit, in my opinion. I think we had a full strength side. I think we were more than capable of getting a point maybe from them, but you never know. I think for me, what I'd look to see is, even if we lose this game, put up a good fight, and even if you lost like Forest you lose narrowly, but you've really battled for it, then I can live with that. You can go, right, it's Man City, fair enough. But I think I think the caveat last time obviously is there in the fact that we did have the Mags game coming up after Man City, which is why Xhaka and Siddiqui, you can have your argument, well, they shouldn't have played at all, but yada, yada, yada. But for me, that did impact things quite heavily. This time, we don't have that, apart from players on 4 yellow cards. We want to avoid getting a booking, because tomorrow's the last game in the threshold. So if they can make through tomorrow without getting booked, then we're fine, basically. Unless someone gets a straight red or 2 yellows, then I'll look stupid. But apart from that, though, I think that's definitely Mike talking in there, by the way.
Yeah.
But so you've got quite a lot of them. We've got a 0-0, got 2 1-0s. So Hammer hasn't said 1-0 City tomorrow. Johnson's going to surprise them 1-0, the lads. Sounds like, is that saying Gerrard? Okay, Gerrard. Sunderland 2-1. Yeah. We get a penalty when Mayenda runs through 92 on 92 and gets fouled. Jordan Sweeney says, sorry, 2-0 City. Here's a good thing, by the way. If you look at how City look like they're going to get Semenyo, at least we don't have to play against him.
It's probably true.
Well, probably 6 minutes. Yeah, let's just ignore that. The good thing is, unless we meet Man City in the FA Cup for one way or another this season, we don't have to play against Semenyo for City. So, one of them, isn't it? That's small comfort, isn't it?
We'll beat him in the final.
Yeah. Go on then. Let's go on to the second last bit. So what would your team and score predictions be? So we'll start with the lineup.
On,
I mean, it's pretty much going to answer itself in a minute, probably. But go on.
Your preview video, when your lineup was good.
I think I had Trey Hume right wing back, Dennis Certain left wing back with Mukiele, Alderete. Who was the centre half I in?
Good trader.
Good trader. 3 centre backs, with Lafia.
All 3 centre backs, we will say.
Yeah, with Xhaka and Lafia in the middle, with Adingra on the right, and Isidore on the left, with Brobbey up front. I just think
who was left wing back?
Certain and Hume, because we've got nobody else that's unable to play there.
Okay.
I think.
But they're pushed up a bit further forward, and then they're with the back 5 when City are in possession. It sort of gives us a bit more solidity.
Yeah, I keep harping on for Isidore to be played from the left hand side. To give him, I think he's more direct. He gives us extra height in the box, in both boxes as well. I mean, there's also a case you could possibly play Mayenda, because I thought Mayenda did well on Sunday when he came on. He was direct and he had one run in the second half. So there's a case for him to play. But I think we have to go with a back 5, and then a back 4 without the ball and get through to pushing midfield a little bit. But difficult game. It's obviously the 2 wing backs worry me. I think if Doctor was back fit against Trey Hume, he struggles against tricky players. Xhaka Shirky against Dennis Certain is another one. You know, it's all over the pitch. They've got quality, so that will be my team. Score predictions. I don't like us to get beat, so I've gone for a 1-1, probably heart overhead, but I've gone for a 1-1.
Okay, Conrad.
Yeah, I think I pretty much had the same sort of team. They might put Rig in and keep Adingra out there, and Mundell maybe, but I'd really like to see us have Isidore even on that left side or anything, just because his defensive duty is going to be really helpful for Dennis Serkin, I think, over Adingra's sort of lack of. Whereas at least if Adingra's on the right-hand side, you've got Hume's defensive ability and Mukaele or Gatreda, whoever's out on that right sort of centre-back position to help him. I don't want to see Xhaka spinning into the full-back positions, not because I don't think he could do it, just because it means that everyone's out of place when the crosses are coming in. I think you keep Robbie, although I was saying that I think Isidore's better to start, and I know that would be typical me because I love Wilson, but we're going to be countering, we're going to be transitioning, and Isidore's better at that and getting out quickly, whereas I think Robbie holding the ball up is going to be better coming off the bench in the second half for me. So I'm a bit, the team can sort of interchange, but it's the same group of like 13 players that we're swapping between, because as me and Wayne said against Leeds, when you looked at the bench, it was honking.
Yeah,
it was really sort of awful, apart from like 3 players, and you were like, and those 3 players were here last season as well. So it's a bit of a big drop off. But as John Swinney puts here, I think it's a 5-3-2 is probably what I'm thinking we're going to see, or it could even be a 5-4-1. At that point,
it's probably going to be a 5-4-1, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, and just sort of, we're just going to have to defend like absolute warriors that they know they can, and we're going to have to hit them on very quick transitions and very good set pieces, I think, and just hope for the best. Which is a different atmosphere to when we played Arsenal, because at Arsenal we were like, we can do this, we can do that. City, I think we're a bit like, just see what happens.
Well, that's it. I mean, I think we'll just be playing that low block and be difficult to break down. I think, Man City like to play a lot of tippy-tappy football, don't they? They like to play in and around the box. So if we can frustrate them for as long as we can, then we might get a breakaway goal. Like you see, Forest give them a right scare at the weekend. So you never know. Football's cheers, Mike. All the best.
Cheers, Mike, mate.
Football's a funny old game. I wouldn't have a honking performance against Leeds and go and beat Man City. It's just the way football is, and I certainly wouldn't be surprised if we did get a result tomorrow.
I wouldn't be surprised if we got a point necessarily. I'd be very surprised if we got a win. But you never know. Football is weird. If we fight like beavers, as Chris Kamara used to say, then we'll do it for the whole game. Then that'd be quite nice. I think my team would be more or less. I had originally gone with a back four, probably of like Roofs, Hume. I was going to say Ballard. Well, hopefully Ballard's back for Spurs, because it looks like the 5-week thing isn't as bad as first feared. But when we've said a player is coming back at a certain amount of time, it tends to be 2-3 weeks longer. So we'll wait and see with that one. But I would have said probably, Hume, Mukiele, Alderete, Serkin, obviously Roofs in goal, Xhaka, Gertruda. Then I might have been tempted maybe to put Lefay on the left, maybe Rig in the middle if he has to play, Adingra on the right. And then I think for me, I'm kind of the opposite to Conrad, actually. I think that Broby would be handy at the start of the game. And I think if we're not losing, Man City are going to chase even more, and they're going to be more vulnerable to Isidore coming off the bench. To me, that would make more sense. But I can see Conrad's thinking. My score prediction, probably 2-0 City, not to be too negative. I just think City, put it this way, I'll be quite relieved when tomorrow's over that we don't have to play City again in the league for the rest of the season, because I think it's going to be... Thank you very much for watching. I hope 2026 is good for you and for Sunderland, of course. I would say probably 2-0 City, but I mean, what was your prediction, Conrad?
On my preview, I said 2-2, but as I was saying to Wayne before we started, I've been watching all our little videos of the days we beat Man City, and I wanted to change to 1-0 us, just because of it was 14 years ago to the day tomorrow that Ji Dong-won rounded Joe Hart a mile offside, and we won the game.
Yeah.
So I want to say 1-0, but I'm going to stick with my 2-2 just for being a true legend that I am.
If you were stuck with 1-0, I bet it was like 99% that, 1% that, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think if he's going to play Rig, you have to play Rig in the middle, because putting Rig outside on the right, he's not good enough to play there. Yeah. Sorry, not strong enough, not fast enough. He got caught out loads of times against Leeds. So if you're going to play him, then you play Enzo out there and play him in the middle, which
But I think particularly if you've got Serkin there, I actually think, I don't actually think Serkin was as bad on Sunday as what people said he was personally, but maybe
it was just a drop off. It's a big drop off from
Alderweireld. Of course, it's not his fault. But yeah, Reynolds is obviously going to be a step up, isn't he? But yeah, we'll wait and see. But the good thing is tomorrow is, if we get something great, if we don't, we've got a few days for the next game, and obviously January's open then, so I wouldn't surprise me if we've got a few deals in the pipeline ready to go. But we shall see. But anyway, go on, Wayne. You going to say something?
I was about to say, I was reading something just before we came on air that apparently Regis de Bries has said that we've already tried to break our transfer window already with behind the scenes. So whether that's the Brennan Johnson thing, I don't know, possibly. But
what was it? DR 30 million currently.
Mbappe 110.
God, imagine that.
He's injured, so it's likely.
He's nailed on. Nailed on.
Who knows? Just to think, a year ago, our biggest signing of a number of years was Wilson Isidore for $3.5 million. Now we're talking about.
No, it was Enzo. It was Enzo.
That was on loan at the time. I'm talking before we got promoted.
Before we got promoted, Yeah.
Obligation.
Yeah. Enzo was our record signing for a couple of weeks
for a day or two.
Yeah, pretty much. But anyway, thank you very much to everyone who's watched. Thanks to these two legends for coming on the show with me. Obviously, subscribe, of course, to Conrad and Mike at Black Cats TV, and of course to Wayne. Yeah, you've got it the right way for once, and only for SCLC. So, we'll start with Conrad. Anything you want to say before we go?
No, just again, do subscribe to everyone on here. The names are all on the top and along the bottom. We do enjoy doing this every week. We try and do it every week. We haven't been able to the past ones because of Christmas, so we try and get something out for you. But yeah, do go and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.
And Wayne?
Just to echo what you have both said, but just to want to wish everybody a happy new year. Since we started doing this, and this is episode 17 in it. It's been an absolute blast. Love these the three to bits, and our mic's not here, but loving the bits. It's a great show, and next year is only going to get bigger and better. So keep watching, keep subscribing, keep liking, keep hyping, and just we'll see you next year.
And of course, a happy new year to everybody else who's watching as well.
Yeah, thank you very much. And as echo what Wayne said, I think get even better. We would have played the Champions League theme, but it's going to get copyrighted, so there's no point.
We'll just have to make do with Midweek Mackems theme instead. They'll line up to that in the Champions League next year. That's what I've heard.
We should wait and see. And me and Wayne can go off and have our takeaways now, which will be quite good.
Absolutely.
But yeah, thanks to everyone who's watched. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you all next time.
Midweek Mackems, we're back on the show. Talking Sunderland, everything you know. Conrad's got the numbers, proper stats machine. Mike's optimistic.